Testing, testing, testing. How's it going, Matt Akers? I'm trying to get everything up and running, so bear with me. Let me see if I can get stuff to work right. Okay. If you can get access, join this link because I want to make sure I can get a mic check going on. Let me know if you can hear me right now, if there's an echo. I'll put the link right there. So I'd like you to join me if you can. Here's a link. I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about composting. I want to get some advice from all the experts. Okay, sounds great. Like I says, if you can, let me change something up for a second, okay? On the inviting the guest. All right, click on it now and let me know if that works for you, please. Okay, you said, okay, just a sec. You shall see who wants to come in and be a part of this live, so that way I can get a good mic check. Can you hear me now? Testing. Let me put in the chat. Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me now? I don't see a. Okay, I got you. I got you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Can you hear me now? That's cool. I'm gonna get me. I got a webcam that I got to get so I can hear better on my computer.
Can
But
you
on the phone, it's hard to hear.
can you hear me, AJ?
Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a webcam so I can hear better with my computer because this phone, it's hard to hear on.
Just
So what
a
have you
second.
guys been up to today?
Oh, can you hear me okay, AJ?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's real quiet. I don't know what's going on. Last time I could hear better, but today's a little bit different, but we shall see.
Okay.
Let me try it on my computer. Hold on for a second, okay?
Okay.
There you go. Give me a mic check. There's an echo now. Is there echo on? Ah, I'm not liking it. Technology. Okay, turn that down. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna change. Is there an echo now?
No, I'm not hearing it.
Okay, I'm gonna like I said, get this when I get this webcam, it'll be a lot better. I can hear better.
But I actually hooked up a new mic. Can you hear me okay pretty well?
Yeah, there's a little echo.
Okay.
No, it's on my end.
Is it me?
No, it's me. How bad is it on your end?
Oh, it's pretty noticeable.
Okay, turn it down. What about now?
Say it again.
Testing, testing.
That's better.
I can hear you. I'm gonna listen on my phone.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get these headphones to work. Hold on for 1 second. All this technology, I'll tell you what. Give me a radio check.
Radio check. Check, check.
Yeah, that don't work on this. Okay, I'll just listen hard on this.
Well, just do you have earphones that you can plug in?
Let me go. Let me go upstairs and look real quick. I have them. Give me a second, okay?
Okay.
Sorry to leave you, but I'll be right back.
Oh, it's no problem.
Okay. I'm thinking about it. Let me see. Let's find my adapter. You know how it is. You gotta get all this high tech stuff. So let me see if I can get it to work.
Okay. But AJ, we're not any experts. We need help.
No, I'm still learning. I can use all the help I can get.
No, we need
Give me a mic check.
I can hear you just fine.
It's just weird. I can't hear the headphones, though. That's weird to me. Let's see. Let's see.
Can
There's
you hear us?
something else?
Can you hear us okay, AJ?
It is Hardy. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I can hear you. I'm going to get this figured out by next week.
No, that's no problem. That's no problem.
So how you guys doing?
Good, good. Looks like you got some more people in the chat.
Yeah, that's good because you never know who's going to show up. I don't know why I can't hear you in my headphones. That's what's weird to me.
You just have to switch your output to your headphones.
Let me see.
So if you go into your settings in StreamYard, I think you'll be able to adjust your settings for the output to show your headphones. Try that.
Okay, you said go into my settings.
Go into settings in StreamYard. So if you hit the little settings button, then you're going to see something that says audio, and then it's going to tell you speaker, and it's going to tell you mic. Just make sure that your headset is set on whatever your speaker is. Maybe it's your headset. You should see it in there.
Okay, let's see. That didn't work on there. Oh man. Let's see.
Okay. Otherwise, just unplug it. We can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. If you want to unplug it, let's just run with it.
That's fine. Just thanks because I can't. I mean, I can hear you, but I wish it was louder.
If you ever want to do a test link, you can always send me and Ryan a test link sometime. You don't even have to go live. You can just send us a test link, and we can always check out each other's equipment if you like.
All right, let me see something for a second, okay?
Okay. Hello, Eclipse Solar.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Let me try something else. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Try this. Okay, now give me a mic check.
Mic check. Iowa in the house. Oh, you got me full screen, AJ.
This is not your channel.
We're gonna get this. Like it says, I have a default setting, but I can't get it to work like I want. But that's okay. Let's see.
Hey there, a slightly better wife.
We'll just go.
That's a great name, a slightly better wife. Yeah, I like it. I like the name. Where did AJ go?
It's not a channel.
It's not. Yeah, so they said composting is an essential for our daily lives. Where did AJ go? Yep.
Technical difficulties.
We can hear you, okay, AJ?
Oh, now I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good.
Good. Like I said, to toy around with stuff, but now it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to touch anything. I'm just going to go with like it is right now and call it good because I can actually hear you a lot better. Let's see who came in real quick. Hello, slightly better wife. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. I'm supposed to get together with you in the spring and tell us about your worms, the failures, and the good and bad about your worms and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that when it gets a lot warmer. So So thank you for joining us. Yeah, like I said, I'm still learning these technical difficulties, but I got a webcam that I'm going to have for next time. And I can hear a lot better, so I'm going to be happy with that. It's like, oh man, I'm not a sound techie guy. So, but if anyone has any questions, we can talk about composting. I'm still new to it, but I compost. The thing about composting with me is you don't have to do like this right formula to get it right. As long as you have more of like the carbons to the nitrogens, you'll be just fine. You know, a scientist, the technology says you got to add like 3-to-1 ratio or a 4-to-1 ratio, and I don't believe that. As long as you have more of the browns than the reds or the carbons, you'll be just fine. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, AJ, I was kind of hoping to learn more from you
Okay.
because we actually want to start a worm farm here. But we actually moved here. So we're in Iowa too. For some of you folks that may not know, but we actually moved here about a year ago, and we actually got our soil tested for this reason. And so we're actually low in calcium for our soil.
Yeah.
So we were low in our calcium, AJ, in our soil. So we kind of need a little help with trying to figure out what we need to put in our soil to get our garden to grow.
Okay. So when you got your testing done, did you have a lot of clay? You know what I mean? You don't know what's in different environments. What did you have in it?
What did we have in it, Ryan?
It wasn't heavy.
It wasn't heavy clay, but
This
we-
used to be a cow farm.
it used to be a cow farm. But to the composting, we want to start our worm farm so we can actually use that in our garden to help supplement with some of that.
Okay. All right.
Composting is different.
Okay.
But I know for me with the worms, the best thing is to just get started with them,
Yeah.
and then every 3 months you'll have like the worm poop, the worm castings, so you'll be able to get a lot more castings. And I have both a compost bin and a worm farm, so that way I can have like if I don't want to put something in my worm, and I can put it outside so to compost. But with your worms, was there a certain number that you guys were thinking about starting out with? Because I know you live on a farm.
No, we weren't. We didn't know just yet, AJ. We're kind of just jumping into some of this.
Mm-hmm. Hello, everyday life of an ODC chick. I hate saying that word, so I had to kind of hesitate because it's kind of like chauvinistic. I had to make sure I said it right. So, what do I think of an indoor compost system that breaks down food waste in hours? I've heard of the filters are expensive, and there could be odors. And the thing about this, I tried to get the Lomi to let me try it out for a month, but they never replied back to me. So I'm like, if you're not gonna reply back to me, I'm not gonna invest my time into you. You don't understand what I'm saying? But for me, it looked like a pretty good system because that system was able to like break down plastic. Hey Ryan.
Hello.
You see how I did that, AJ? Because he knows. He knows. I don't
Yeah.
know about stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, I don't really know about that high tech Lomi. Like I says, I wanted to get a sponsorship to just try it out, but they never got back with me. I emailed them twice and they never replied back. So I don't know if it's a good hit or a bad hit when it comes to that Lomi. But I hear it's expensive. You know, like you said, slightly. I hear the filters can be spendy. You have to invest in filters every 3 months, I guess. I don't know, but so I don't know the results.
So you just now started composting, you said, AJ?
Yeah, I always have my compost bins outside, but I couldn't turn that stuff. That stuff was like rock hard, you know, because you know in Iowa it's cold.
Yes.
I wanted to get into that like a couple days ago so I can get it heating up again, so it'll break down for me, but I couldn't get into it.
For composting, like you say, you do have to have your browns, your your greens, and then as well as you got to make sure that you have water in it. So composting in the winter for Iowans is probably going to be difficult because you do have to keep constantly turning it. And then as well as it has to maintain a certain temperature. I want to say it's something like 95 to 100-degree temperature on it.
Okay.
So, but I'm not. We just now getting into compost. This is going to be our first year composting. So this is just research I have done. Last year we did chicken composting. So what
Okay.
we do is we do a mulch system in our chicken, and so we just put down wood shavings, mulch that we get from our local municipality from the wood chippers. So they chip wood and you can go get it, and we put it inside of our chicken run, and our chicken breaks that all down for us. And so this
Uh-huh.
year we'll be able to scoop that out and use that as compost on our beds. So that when they mix their manure and all that, and the wood chippings get together and break down, that turns into compost for us for this year. So last year we let our chickens do all the work. This year we want to kind of get into that where we're taking our food scraps and our spent vegetables from our garden and turning it into compost.
I hear it. With you having chickens, there's a website. I don't know exactly who it is. I think they're called like Terra Grubs, and
Yeah,
they'll let you get their grubs, and you just have to do like your feedback on it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
something
We
like
try,
that too.
You just got a new
I'm
member, AJ.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brooklyn. Who was it? Glenn. I appreciate that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
yeah, we try we as of now, because we're just a small channel, we stay away from that reviews and stuff like that. Reason
Yeah,
being, one, we're a small channel with aspiration of eventually one day becoming big. And if not saying that it's not a bad thing, but how I look at it, say for instance, if we have 500 subscribers today,
yeah,
and in a row you have, let's say, 50,000 subscribers, is that channel and that review worth that bag of Grubteria if you're a 50,000 subscriber channel? So I try to stay away from those reviews right now,
yeah.
and because it doesn't make business sense, and I don't want to. So I just focus on trying to put out really good content for people, let people know the things that we're doing, and if we
Okay.
do product that we personally buy,
Yeah,
and it's a good product, we let people know about that product, the good product that we buy. But we tend to get a lot of people reaching out to us, asking us to do reviews, and we just politely decline at this moment.
that's awesome, man. And that's cool. You know what I mean? Because when you start out, that's how it's supposed to be. You need to have your privacy going and just to build your community. I
Yes.
noticed, like for me, I get a lot of bogus emails, such as web designs, and they want to redo my thumbnails or something like that. I'm like, no, I don't need your help right now. I'm not like I could use the help if I need to improve, but this how the wording is and stuff. I just don't feel right doing that because right now I
Yeah.
don't need good thumbnails because I'm starting out.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future I might need it, but no, I just want to build a community and
Yeah.
people know my brand and know your brand, and that's just how we're getting our faces out there right now. And
Yeah.
another thing that helps us to grow too is just the shout outs, little plugs. I see like on your community tab, your daily things. You're like, hello, another worm farmer's here. Hello, Connecticut.
How are you doing, AJ?
I'm good, and you? I'm glad you could join me.
Yeah, I'm glad I found it. It just popped up, so I figured I'd jump in.
Yeah, I changed the link. It says you have to authenticate, but they want you to do that because they don't want trolls or something to come in. But
Well, I am a troll, so
oh,
Hey, AJ,
you're,
it didn't work. It didn't work.
we're
let
gonna
me.
set that, AJ.
I'm sorry. Let me answer a quick question. When it comes to storing worms in the refrigerator, the answer is no. I think only Canadian night crawlers can be stored. But Other than that, if you're not using Canadians for fishing, I wouldn't put any other worm in my inside of my refrigerator. Anyone's thoughts? We're all new to this. What are your thoughts on this question? Anyone?
We're gonna step into the chat, AJ. We're gonna participate in the chat.
Okay, it's not a problem.
Thank you for having us up here.
Yeah, thank you.
But how long are you talking about putting them in the refrigerator for? Like what purpose?
Yeah, she's asking you slightly better wife. She's trying to answer your question.
Can you store worms in the fridge if you don't want to have an indoor compost bin? I mean, you can store red wigglers in the fridge. They won't die, but they're not going to be productive. I wouldn't recommend it long term.
Nope, I'd never put worms in the refrigerator because the worms we use, it's just straight the composting worms.
Right. I mean, red wigglers can take temperatures pretty cold. They even come through the freeze. So refrigerator 40-ish degrees would be okay, but if you're going to have a worm bin, you're going to have at least a pound of worms, 1,000 worms, and that would be pretty difficult to keep in the fridge and keep them properly, right moisture, right humidity, right bedding. You risk losing them.
Yep, you're right. I know you. I think with you, slightly better wife, the reason you got mites in your worm bin was because we got that stuff from outside on the ground from your compost bin. When you had your eggshells and stuff on the floor or outside. I think that's why you got those mites. And for me, I don't like to have anything from outside in my worm farms. People bring leaves in and say you can crush them up and do this and that, but I don't want to risk that. And I think that's why you got those mites in your worm farm. Let me see. I hope that answered your question. Another question, should I put worms in heated sheds or what is the desired temperature? Where do you live? That's the main thing. And what type of worms are you thinking about raising? Red wigglers, they can, thrive from 40 degrees up to 90, give or take. Connecticut, is that right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they can go colder if they've got enough bedding in there. They can, they can overgo a winter if they need to. But yeah, they definitely have a good temperature range. But now if you have African night crawlers, you have much less of a window.
yep. And you raise Europeans. Do you have Africans as well, or just Europeans and red wigglers? Connecticut.
Me, I have red wigglers, Europeans, Africans, Indian blues, and I have Canadian night crawlers, and I have 2 kinds of red wigglers. So I technically have 6 types of worms.
And which worm do you like the most? I know it's hard to be.
I mean, they all have their benefits and their drawbacks. The African night crawlers are my favorite as far as making the most castings the fastest. They're like the Cadillac, of the worms. But the red wigglers are certainly the most versatile. You can ignore them and they're okay. You can freeze them, they're okay. You can heat them up, they're okay. They're not sensitive to, they're not trying to escape. They're just mellow. So, and the Euros are somewhere in the middle. They have a better temperature tolerance than the African night crawlers, but not as versatile as the red wigglers.
Yeah, and going back to slightly, I know exactly what she was thinking when she got those insects in her house, and I was like, that wasn't good. Like I said, I think the problem was because we got the stuff off of the ground. If we just did the cardboard, the bedding, the what do you call it, the cup holders and stuff like that, we'd have been just fine. But that's just my thoughts, and I think that's why that happened. And that was definitely a learning curve on me. So I apologize if that's what happened, but I have experience now, so I know what to do and what not to do over my time doing raising worms.
Well, I mean, at least half of my bedding comes in from outside,
Mm-hmm.
but I usually will throw it in the freezer for a little while, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
put it on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven. So any critters are going to die off before they get in the worm bin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to freeze your stuff. And I think that's another thing when it comes to fruit flies. It's because of the banana peels, and you have to freeze those your banana peels and everything to prevent fruit flies from getting into your worm farm. I've had a situation where I had some banana peels ready to put in the farm, and I didn't freeze them. And I opened it up, and there was so many larvae in there. It was disgusting. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah, and I threw those into my outside worm farm, out in my outside composting bin. 'Cause I'm like, you're not coming in here.
Hmm.
African night corals are cool. I wish I could get those, but like I said, the temperature is just crazy. They have to be like 65 to 90, right? They're tropical worms, and I know they need a warmer temperature. They'll be really feisty.
They're, they're, they're not as bad as I was anticipating when I got them. I did that video where I forgot mine in the basement between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they got cold, and they didn't suffer none from it. I was quite surprised. Um, I keep them in the house, so it's not really a problem. My house is going to be warm enough for them, and in the summer I can put them out, and it'll be plenty warm enough for them. But
I
that
understand.
I haven't had any issues like people described about them trying to escape or mass escape. I haven't had any experience like that. They've
Yeah,
been pretty easy to keep happy.
it's funny when I first got my worms. I thought they were all red wigglers, but they were a mixture of blues and red wigglers combined. Because I got mine from Uncle Jim's worm farm, and I really
Okay.
didn't notice a difference. But they would always, most of them, a few would climb to the top. I was figuring out what's going wrong. Like the bedding's good, everything. And then I
Yep.
touched base with Plant Obsessed. She's a YouTuber, Plant Obsessed. But she said maybe if you turn your bin a certain direction, they'll stop crawling. And when I turned my bin the full, 180, they didn't crawl up the bin anymore. It was
Hmm.
weird. I don't know. Maybe it was just a glitch. But they say when it rains, blue worms are more ones that try to escape your worm farm.
Yeah, I have blues as part of a mixture. And I also have blues in a solid blue bin with nothing else. And I don't keep a cover on. I don't cover any of my worms that are inside. And again, I haven't had any of them escape. They seem, but all my bins are really deep. That could be it too. I don't have
Hmm.
them in shallow bus bins. They're
Hmm.
very deep at this point. So if
Hmm.
they crawl up, they got a long ways to go.
Okay. A quick plug out to Mad Acres Farms. With you, I would say just get a mixture of worms. Just start off that way. Have your Europeans, blues, and your red wigglers all together. To go that route if you want to have a variety of worms. And the thing that I noticed about worms, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that their castings are all different colors. You know what I mean? Like red wigglers could be a light brown, and like my Europeans, it's like a darker brown compared to the red wigglers. And I just think the mixture of the castings, the worm poop, is just different and beneficial more for your plants. Correct me if I'm wrong or something. Like your feedback.
I haven't noticed. The only thing I've noticed with color change is if I feed them something drastically different. If I feed cardboard only, I get a lighter casting than if I feed rich, like say leftover broccoli or spinach or something. But I have not noticed a color difference based on the worm type. Size difference, yes. Like African nightcrawler castings are, like almost little nodules where red wigglers are much smaller. But I haven't seen a color difference from worm species themselves.
Okay. Okay. So does okay, question for everyone in here. If you have worms, how long have you had worms? Just a rough estimate. Got to think. I think I've been raising worms for about 4 years now. Oh, is that your dogs?
No, that was a cat, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. You have 2 dogs and a cat?
I have 3 dogs and 5 cats.
Oh wow, you're busy.
I'm
And plus
busy.
your 80,000 worms.
Plus my 80 million worms. 80 million worms, 3 snakes, and a rat that is rogue in the basement right now.
Oh wow. You got all types of critters in there. You got a zoo.
Pretty much. But I don't have a husband, so it's okay.
I understand.
That would be harder to maintain. He'd be in the doghouse more than the dogs.
Oh wow. I'm gonna put a link in here. Excuse me for 1 second. If someone wants to join, here goes the link. If you want to become live on the stream.
I didn't even know I was going live. I thought I was just going in the chat, but that's okay.
If I see like if someone's picture comes up, I'll bring them up. But if they say they don't want to be on, I will take them back off. But it's okay. It's good to see you, face to face instead of just doing videos. I had a live stream about a week ago, and yes, it's awesome. All right, I got another guy, Glenny. Hello, sir.
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
Hey, good to have you here.
Hello.
So how's it going? How's it going, Glenny? Can you hear me, Glenny?
Are you there?
Glenny, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good down here.
I got you. I hear you. So tell us a little bit about you. Where you at? What state or country?
I'm from Australia, Queensland.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Good to have
That
you
is awesome. I'm jealous already.
here.
No?
And thanks
I'm
for joining the
preparing
community,
for a
man.
snowstorm. I doubt you are.
No. I'm gonna give you something. I'm trying to finesse something with my branding, but once that gets connected, I'm gonna send you something. For joining. All right. Glenn?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Hey, I did a little video. Yeah,
Huh?
Mark, yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't hear you. What's that?
You can hear me?
It's hard
Yeah,
to hear you. I'm
you're
sorry.
breaking up. I can hear you, but it's
Yeah.
it's breaking up.
We're probably a long way away. I'm in Australia.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, if I get you, thank you, slightly better wife for coming by. But I sent something to a guy that's in the UK, so I can ship you something through the mail. That's not a problem. Once I get everything
Oh,
figured
nice day here,
out,
hey. It gets too hot here.
I'll hook you up. So what's the weather there right now? You look like you're in a t-shirt and comfortable.
Well, so am I, but it's snowing.
Oh, he left. Oh, he's gone.
Oh no. Or maybe he just fell off. Maybe he'll be back.
Well, that's cool. A guy from Australia. That's awesome.
I know. There's there's so many people around the world that are doing this. It's great that, like what you're doing here, people can connect.
Exactly.
Now I don't see any chat. I guess it's because I'm in the StreamYard. I'm not familiar with this app. I don't see any messages or anything.
No, there's nothing in the chat, but I see there's 5 people. Really, there's 5 people, but there's 2, so there's 3 left. But I don't know who's in here as of right now.
Okay, this is
The-
different than like YouTube live that I'm used to.
Yeah, YouTube's good, but the thing I like about this is once you get connected, you can actually see people face to face, and that's what I like about this.
Now, what's the banner I see of yeah, my mouth is stuck. Subscribing to you. What does that mean? Because I subscribe to your channel. but I think it's something different.
Yeah, there's a thing that's like you look at someone's about page and it'll have like a join
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
And mine my thing is for 99 cents a month, as long as you want to be a member. But
Okay.
he's back, good to have you. But
Oh,
when
there
I
he is.
have giveaways, I'm just gonna give giveaways to my the people that support the channel like monthly. Because
Okay.
there's been people that I've had giveaways and they didn't give me a thank you or anything. That kind of
Doesn't it,
hard.
doesn't it stink?
Yeah. And I think it's better if you invest in someone, that means they believe in you and you should invest back into them. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
So
I
that's why
agree.
I changed it up. I'm not like I said I had one about when I reached 500 videos uploaded, I was gonna give something away. So he's my first channel member, and I appreciate that. So something's definitely coming his way. And then
I'll
when I
send him some snow. Do you want some snow?
no, we have snow right now, and right now here it's 2 degrees, freezing.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, Glenny, can you hear us? Glenny, can you hear us? Tell us a little bit about you. You have worms. You raise worms and stuff in Australia.
Do you have your audio turned on, Glenn? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
what's up, the same guy over there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's all good. He's got the heat going on.
Is it hot there?
It's very hot, yeah.
How hot is it?
Uh,
What's your temperature?
the temperature in Australia at the moment 36 degrees Celsius.
You say 70? How much?
It's like
35, 36 degrees Celsius.
Oh, so that's
yeah.
35, 70, almost 100 Fahrenheit.
Is it?
Yeah, you double it and add 30. So that's the formula. Wow.
Yep. I've got
Well,
my work in the shade.
I'll come over there. You come here.
Yeah, right now it's the perfect time to leave.
Yeah. You're not getting the snowstorm, are you, on Friday, AJ, that we're getting here on the East Coast?
No, no.
Oh, we're getting a big one on Friday.
That's not good. We've been pretty blessed. Like, I mean, we have snow and it's been like 13 below with the wind chill, but the East Coast has been getting pounded, getting frost and all that. Weird.
Frost. We just have been below zero for months. It's just like, oh, now the dog's on the well. It's just been so cold.
Yep.
Hey, Glenn, I got a question for you. Can you hear me?
Here, go out. Go.
Do you eat kangaroo? Kangaroo?
That's an Australian thing, huh? Kangaroo.
Hey, yeah, AJ,
Grumpy.
yeah, in Australia, like, nice.
That's what
But
I hear. It's really good meat.
lean meat, the high here.
I would try it.
So what is the like everything in the tail? Is that how it works when it comes to giraffe meat?
What part do you eat? Everything?
Yeah, we the bone of the kangaroo, um, we'll chop it up and you can make skewers out of it, like kebabs or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, native animal, I suppose, isn't it? My dad and uncles used to shoot them for a living, and
Oh, really?
take them to the meat works. Then they used to go for human consumption and pet food, and whatever's left over used to go to blood. Yeah, and they used to make scratches out of the paws.
Oh, well,
They
that's
say that,
interesting.
yeah,
The
they say
tail,
that they'll beat you up though.
oh,
Kangaroos get on their back tails and start boxing you. They'll kick
Yeah, they're
you.
strong, right? They're mean. I've seen videos of them kicking people.
yeah, they're pretty crazy.
They kick you and like they can break your leg.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, very dangerous. Dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with dogs.
Yeah, I like dogs too. I've got a blue heeler.
What's that? What you have?
A blue
You,
heeler. And
Oh,
one of my dogs is half blue healer.
yeah, they're beautiful dogs, very loyal.
Aren't they though? They're
is that a
very
hunting
loyal.
dog? Blue heelers are hunting dogs, aren't they?
They are. They are.
Oh, geez, they can be used hunting dogs, yeah.
I hear you.
Well, yeah, it depends where you live, but they're very loyal. That's for sure.
That's cool. I'm gonna change something up. The next time I'm on a live stream, I'm gonna have a webcam so I can hear better on my computer. Because yeah, when you get new stuff, it's hard to problem solve when you're starting out, but it will be better next time. That's my goal.
Do you,
Well,
do you have
always
any
fun.
over there?
I'm sorry.
Do you eat oxtail over there?
Oxbow?
No,
You said what? Did you say eat what?
Oxtail stew.
oxtails?
Oxtail.
No,
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I
it's
eat like good.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oxtails expensive?
Well, we I
It's
do the
very
same thing, but
expensive.
it's retail. Same thing as oxtail, but we did it. I do oxtail. It's beautiful.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go, AJ. You did
Yeah, this
something.
is better.
He's getting there. He's almost on the movie star.
First
So
time I've done
oxtail,
it.
you have oxtail. Is it easy to get in Australia? It's very expensive.
It is
to
pretty
eat.
expensive. It's surprising, like, Australia. You can't have them.
How is the pandemic in Australia? How's the
Oh,
virus?
the pandemic, they gonna lift it without having to wear masks.
You,
The shop, pubs and grocery stores and stuff. Friday, the February. So yeah, thumbs up.
oh, good. Yeah, it's getting better.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
finally.
partner, my partner works at a grocery store, and she goes with her mum to the day, and it's more sick and
Yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I hate it. Let's see if these dogs are coming in. Come on,
So I'm
dogs.
gonna check out your channel. What do you on your channel, Glenny? What do you have on your channel? Do you like have farm farming videos, or what do you usually have on your channel? Your YouTube channel.
Granny, did you hear him?
what did you say, AJ? Can you say that again, please, mate?
Oh, what do you have on your YouTube channel? What do you do? Do you have worms, or what do you have?
I've got a bit of everything. I've got my worms, and I've got my garden. Well, the first videos I put on there, I was in a rehab that I fought for smoking my yarn and the cows, but
Okay.
I think I might be subscribed to your channel already.
Okay.
I recognize your name. I think I'm already subscribed to your channel. I'm going to check. Let me see. If I click on you, will it go to your channel? How do I get to your channel?
I'm just typing my link to Glenny's gardening, and
Okay. I'm going to make sure I'm subscribed to you.
I'm definitely gonna check you out.
I have a
I
few
know a lot
people
of
in
yeah,
Australia
well,
I
I'll definitely
follow.
subscribe and stuff. I appreciate you supporting me, and I got to return the favor. But I will, like I said, I'm gonna get my stuff situated. I'll send you something within the next month or two for being a part of the community extra.
Cool. Oh, you're reaching all the world now, AJ.
Yeah, that is definitely awesome. Matt Akers was here. They live right down the road from me. They're about 2.5 hours away, which is cool.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and then there was some YouTubers. They met and just did a little reunion in Georgia about
Hey,
10
on the
different YouTube channels. I thought that's pretty cool.
everybody, and you have a good day.
Hey, thank
Bye,
you for stopping
Glenn.
by. I really appreciate you, man.
See you.
Yeah, stay safe.
You too, everybody.
Bye.
Yep. In Georgia, AJ?
Yeah, they just did a reunion in Georgia.
Was it like somebody from Mean Swarms?
No, it was like Wash Farms and Ernie Hatmaker and a few other
Okay.
people. Yeah, there was like a few different channels that connected. A lot of homesteading, the homesteading community. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool.
Oh, okay. I would love to have a big piece of property.
Yeah, exactly. But the more property, the more stuff you got to maintain, which I think is crazy. I don't want to do all
Well,
the
yeah,
chores.
it depends how you run it. You know, how much of it is cleared land versus wooded land, or
Hmm.
I mean, I don't want a plantation. Just a few acres would be great.
Yeah.
You know, a stream running through it, irrigation. Just something without neighbors. That's all.
Hmm. Yeah, just out in the wilderness by yourself with
I
all
would
your
love it.
animals.
I mean, I grew up like that, and it's still in me.
Yeah. So are you originally from Connecticut?
Yep. Well, I was born in Canada, but I came here. I was a baby still, so yeah. I guess even though I'm Canadian, I've always lived in Connecticut.
Mhm. But it's weird though, you don't have the accent. You would think you would have that accent, but like,
Well, I mean, like I said, I wasn't even a year old when my parents came. My brothers have accents,
okay,
but and my dad did, but no, I didn't. I wasn't speaking yet before they moved here. So, oh, there's Glenny's garden.
yep. Subscribe to this channel if you're interested in this content. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
check it out for
definitely
sure.
will. I think I might already be.
Hmm.
Now, if I click that, what will it do? Oh, it doesn't do anything.
I have to find the link. Let me see if I can get that real quick.
Thanks. Have a chat meeting at new people. Yeah, we'll have to come over there for a visit. I would love to. It's a 27-hour plane trip.
Oh wow.
Australia is the farthest plane trip you can take from the United States. It's the
Oh wow, I
furthest.
didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't either till a couple of years ago. It is the longest flight you can take. And
I'm
you're in
gonna.
where, like Michigan or something? Where are you, AJ?
I'm in Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
Let me go to his page real quick. Just hope you don't hear an echo. I'm gonna try something. See, Glenny's Gardens. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Glenny's, but it looks like it's spelled. Here, let me turn my phone. Maybe I can see it better. Looks like it says Garding, Garding.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yep.
how it looks like on that little banner there.
Okay. I got him right now. That's
Okay.
what's good about this. Okay. The link's coming up right now. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Learn by Composting. It's good to see you.
Hey, Patrick's here.
I'm going to shoot this link, Patrick. I want to talk to you if you don't mind talking face to face. But here's the link if you're interested.
Now, where will it show up, AJ?
It should. Oh, it's in the chat. But
And I don't even know how I get. Oh, let's see. Wait, if I hit chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Now, if I say go to chat, it says there's nothing. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, I see now.
Are you on
Uh-oh.
Facebook or you on Stream or Yard
I'm
StreamYard?
on stream. Well, I don't know where the heck. It says StreamYard, so
Okay, yeah. Open up the chat and maybe you should be able to get in there.
let's see.
If you see the link, Patrick, let me know because I'd like to have you in here. I want to learn from one of the professional worm farmers.
Hey. I don't see a link.
Okay, but this is the link. This is the link to
What?
his channel. It's like a long thing, but it's Glenny's
I'll
Garden.
find it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
but it's like Glenny's Garden.
Yeah,
So
I'll find
Patrick, how
it.
are you doing?
How do I get to the chat side of this thing?
Let me see. Are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
Yeah, no, I'm on phone.
Okay. If you're in here, let me know who you are. I'm glad to see people that are still in here. We've been chit chatting with a few people, and
Whoops, I did
welcome back.
something.
That's okay. All
Let's
right,
see.
Patrick's here. The VIPs in the house. Good
Wait,
to have you,
we got
Patrick.
someone else here.
He's a Dolphin fan too. That's awesome. I finally got to see the face with the voice. You know, it's
I may
crazy.
put earplugs on real quick because I'm getting a little bit of an echo.
Okay.
Who is this? AJ, who is it?
It's Patrick.
That's Patrick. Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's the first time I've met him. So it's great to see you uploading your videos, Patrick. That's awesome.
Your mini worm bin, your tiny worm bin.
He's got 3 worms in him.
He's got. Oh, it's only because his wife won't let him have more.
So how many worms did you have? Did you count them all today after you uploaded that video?
You know what? I'm getting a bit of an echo. So let me see. Maybe if I. No, you know what? I should have weighed them because that container would have been the perfect time to weigh it, and I didn't. But I think I probably have 4,000 to 5,000 in there. I think.
I hear you. I hear you.
Which container is that?
It was just a little Tupperware container that I had. You know, as I emptied out my outdoor worm bin, I totally dumped the whole thing out of my blue tarp. And it was just oodles and oodles and oodles of worms. And I put them in a Tupperware container, and then I dumped them and did a time lapse at the end. It was awesome, but
oh wow! Well, you're in Florida, right?
I should have weighed them.
You're in Florida?
I am. I'm in Tampa, Florida. Well, on the suburbs of Tampa, Florida. So, but grew up in Orlando, so we didn't. Tampa wasn't that good football, so we were all Miami Dolphins fans. But yeah, so it's warm. I mean, it was. We had a freeze like 2 weeks ago, and I even put my worm bag in the garage. Where I see, people up north, let them freeze, no big deal. They, their red windows are fine.
One of them. I think I said you call a freeze 60 degrees.
Yes. And I lived all over. I mean, I lived in North Dakota. My first son was born in North Dakota, so I get to claim hot or cold, wherever I am. But we don't dress for it correctly, because it's 30 degrees on our 2 days of winter. And then it's 70 in the afternoon. So everybody goes out without a jacket and we're all just freezing cold,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But the worms did well. I mean, I put them in the garage and brought them back out, and, they were still going and eating the food and keeping up with the feedings I'm giving them every week. So it's been great.
I gotta say congratulations on reaching your 1,000 subscribers, Patrick. That's awesome. Your
Oh, that
channel's
is
Oh, thank
growing.
you.
awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
that
AJ,
is
you had a
awesome.
huge hand in it.
How long did it take?
Well, I started filming in January, but I didn't put my first video out till July because, everybody says the hardest thing to do is put that first video out because you don't want to hear your voice. You see everybody else and it looks so professional. So I just threw them out there
This year?
unedited this year. So I threw them out
Wow,
unedited.
holy cow.
Yeah, he does good. Your editing and everything is awesome, man.
I'm always so impressed. I've asked you a few questions about like what editing software you're using because your editing is awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
thank
good
you.
videos.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, the worms are
I
like.
use iMovie on my. Oh, sorry, I keep talking
You're
over. I
doing it
just
on a
apologize.
phone or on a computer or tablet?
I take the video on my phone. Occasionally, I'll throw in, a GoPro down there to get some side angles. But then I just have an 8-year-old Mac that has the iMovie software on it, and it's just taking time and getting rid of my ums and ahs, and then
Yeah,
throw in some of the
I'm
old
trying to do
pictures
work
because
on that.
yeah, some of the things when I see, I jump in and out of people's videos, and there's some like AV and some of these long running worm channels. I don't necessarily, I jump in the middle of it, so I don't know what they've been feeding and all that kind of stuff. So I just started throwing my pictures to help remind me and anybody that was watching. So that takes a little bit of time with the editing, and then slow motion. I love the time lapse, and I just did one where I broke a peat
yeah.
seed in the
I don't know
and
how
I
to
put
do
that in
that.
slow motion. So that was funny, and the sound too. The sound was crazy. So I actually love the editing portion,
That's awesome.
So that's it's cool.
So
I
But
don't know how to
AJ,
do time lapse.
go ahead.
I don't think I can do it with my phone, and I have a camera, but I don't know how to use it, so that doesn't help.
So on
Yeah,
average, how long does it take you to edit a video?
what's that?
On average, how long does it take you to edit a video from shoot to finish? Just a rough estimate.
You can probably guess by some of my passion that I can't sit still very long, so I do it over the course of the day. I can't sit down and just do it because I gotta get up and think about it and stuff like that. So, I mean, depending on how well I do through the video without the ums and ahs and can keep in mind what I am thinking about, it goes much shorter. But there's a couple 3 hours sometimes, and then waiting for it to upload and then watching it back and trying to put the chapters in. It can take a while, that's for sure. But that's the part that I love. I love the editing. So, but yeah, I was gonna say, you found me pretty early on, and you have supported so many channels, and I absolutely love it because you've passed me on to other like gardening with Chuckin and some of these guys. I love them. Oh my gosh! So I know people found me through you, and I found a lot through you too.
Oh, appreciate that, man. The thing I like about your videos is when you get excited when you see the worm balls. You go,
He loves his worm balls.
it's like, oh man, look at this, awesome a worm ball. I'm like, yeah, got 8,000 worms right there.
Yeah, when I look back at them, sometimes I'm just like, but I love it. Every time it's just, it's the same but it's different. It's so fun. So yeah.
I remember when you dumped him out and counted every one.
Yeah.
You were going to count every one.
Oh, jeez.
And you were like, I'm not doing that again.
That was backbreaking. I needed a higher table, and I was leaned over the whole time.
Yeah.
And my very patient wife was behind the camera the whole time, and she saw me. I was like 400 and something, and I went up by 10, and she called me out and said, "Nope." So she had been watching the whole time me count these worms. It was one of the craziest, videos for sure as far as time consuming. So, yeah.
So you think the best thing to do is to weigh them? You think that would be the best way to just get a rough estimate?
I mean, there's a lot of people that say 1 pound is 1,000 as far as red wigglers go. I mean, you have way more experience, and I know the the different worms, especially African night crawlers and stuff, may weigh more. But I mean, especially when you get down to those little ones, I mean, you could have, you know, just absolute thousands, especially this time of year. I think people right now that have worm bins or just started worm bins are going to have so many. I just remember last spring, tons of worms in that outdoor worm bin. I went from very few to just, I mean, absolutely, you know, hundreds of thousands in that worm bin just like that. So spring is going to catch up real quick with a lot of people with worm bins, I think.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But it's cool though. I mean, we're all experts. You know, we all have our own tips and tricks that we all do. We use different things. You wanted to feed your worms meat, but I would discourage you not to do that. Your wife would kill
I
you.
have a pork chop in my urban worm bag right now, and
Oh,
it is half gone in 3 days.
oh
It
wow.
was a bone-in pork chop, and I buried it way down deep, and I dug it up today, and it is half gone.
I gotta think.
They will eat anything.
Well, I mean, we'll eat, dead animals. I mean, they don't care if it's
The
so,
only thing that only thing that I noticed was with Dee's worms from my composting. She put cottage cheese in her video, and she
that
said
very
that.
doesn't work. That was
Yeah,
horrible. I smelled it at my house.
yeah. I'm gonna put dairy in there.
I loved it. I was waiting for every, you know, update because she did what I didn't want to do. You know, I just,
Yeah,
when she did that, I was so excited, you know, because I mean, I learned by doing, but there's some things I want other people to do for me, you know,
exactly.
and I'm hoping Ann at Plant Obsessed throws a meatball, or I suggested a meatball, but hopefully she throws something in there and shows it. So we
I
fun. And I'll
should have
check out
filmed my pork
yours
chop
also.
going in. Maybe I'll put in another pork chop and film it this time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, definitely.
There is such a small amount left. They just went crazy.
I never knew that though.
It was raw, not cooked. It was a raw pork.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I don't know if that matters, but they really. I was like, wow. I'm glad I don't fall in that bin because I don't think I'd last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
The way they eat food.
Yeah, I think I definitely don't want to try them in my outdoor bins just on the chance of smell. The outdoor and the indoor bins, I don't want to try them, but the outdoor bin, I got that one critter hole. It dug right through both
Oh, that's right.
bags, but it never came back and it never got to my worms. But that is an indicator to me, like if I put something in there, a raccoon can get in there, and raccoons they'll open anything. I've caught at least 3, I think, in my backyard. So, you know, in Florida, these animals, it's the mammals. The mammals are what you really have to worry about when it comes to meat or something like that in a worm bin.
So Patrick, tell me your story real quick if you don't mind. You and your wife went to a workshop. What made you go to the workshop to become interested in worms?
Well, I mean, I can tell the short or the really long version, but
Whatever works for you, because I know you're in a
yeah,
different time zone. Both of you are.
yeah. Yeah, I went to UCF, who, by the way, beat the University of Florida at the Gasparilla Bowl. I just have to put that on there because you wear the University of Florida hat. But I was a biology major and fascinated with, you know, science and all that kind of stuff. And my best friend growing up was a family that was from Cambodia that lived right behind me, and they literally farmed their whole small suburban backyard. And I grew right alongside them, and they used all kinds of fertilizers and compost. It just fascinated me. So I have a huge fascination with that. But I went into the Air Force, and you know, for 20 years, I was all over the place on Air Force bases where, you know, you don't necessarily want to grow in the ground. I mean, my kids would have little metal detectors and find, you know, shell casings and stuff. So if I did grow, and I did sometimes, I would put my own dirt in there. So fast forward to now, I'm back in Florida, and I love growing gardens. I've always had gardens everywhere I moved, but I moved every 3 years. And, you know, filling in a garden plot that you just build, like an 8x4, that takes a lot of money and, you know, time and effort to put that in. And then if you want to grow, you know, 20-gallon fabric pot, well, you've got to buy all that stuff. So I started making my own potting mixes, and then, you had to add compost to them to have a really good potting mix or a good mix for your garden. And I'm like, why am I buying compost when I can be making it? So I did some workshops. I had some time. We all had time, during COVID. So I started
Yeah.
looking into it, and I found the county extension office run by the University of Florida, in the state of Florida. And I started going to their different workshops. They had a rain barrel, irrigation, all that kind of good stuff, all for either a small fee or free. And then they would give you all this equipment. And the vermicomposting one, they could only fit like 8 people in it. And I tried for one, and then I finally got in one. And for me, it was like, hey, free worms, a bin. I do a lot of research and all that kind of good stuff. And I've got a couple kids in college, so I've got access to EBSCO and all the scientific journals. And through the extension office website, they've got really great access to papers and, people that study worms and all that kind of good stuff. So I figured, why not? Why not go to this workshop? And there was 8 of us in there, and we made all these bins, and I was just waiting, and she's putting these big piles of worms in everybody's bin. And like, she got to mine, and she's digging through, and then she gives me like a small handful. I really think they're made in 10 to 25 worms in there, instead of the 100 to 200 we thought we were going to get. So when I did that bin, I would always say 50 to 100, but it was probably even less than that. And I ran that bin for 172 days and counted 490 worms from the start of it. But that is kind of the long story of what got into composting, vermicomposting. When you can make your own fertilizer, and I make worm tea, or not worm tea, because that always sounds like I'm making tea out of the worms, but worm casting tea, stuff like, when you can make it your own, where it came from, what kind of ingredients are in it, you're getting the best stuff. So why would you do anything else? That's my
Exactly.
So.
No, but that's cool though, because when we look back now, we never would have even thought about worms could do what they do. And it's funny how we know the benefits of worms. They've been here way before mankind, and they're just awesome creatures to raise. They impress us. You can start off with 100 like you did, and now you got like 8,000, 9,000. You know what I mean? They multiply quick. This is crazy how you don't
yeah.
think that many worms, a small amount, would become a huge colony.
Exactly. That's anybody that is into numbers, when you see exponential growth, that just excites you. I think that's why a lot of people get it. I've seen a lot of people get into and get out of the worm business because it just seems so free and easy. But we all know, like one of your latest videos with sifting the castings, it can be labor intensive. But that exponential growth of the worms is just fascinating. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Exactly. And the thing about my castings, I let them sit out for a while because that was the video I did about the worm tea. And I just kept it open for a couple of weeks, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and sift them. And they were like clumpy. But once I started to just break them down a little bit, I was able to sift them from the big sifter to that finer sifter. And, with sifters, we just got to keep it simple and use what we have, and you don't have to buy like a $50 sifter. You can do one with a $10 or $3 sifter, you know.
Yeah, when you had that video, I forget a couple months ago, and you had a different basket, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is genius. The only sifter I have is the Vermi Hut, using one of the trays. And I remember thinking when I first started, I'm like, I got to buy a sifter and all that kind of stuff. And then you came up with this video. I had already been into it and everything, but you came up with this video, and I'm like, sometimes you just need to think outside the box or just look what's in front of you. That was great.
Yep. Now I've been doing a lot of research before I started. I used to watch a lot of worm farm videos, like London's Worm and Garden. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
He's really good. He's
great.
the first person I watched and see what his worms would do. And then Marty's Worms and Garden, I would check him out.
Yeah.
And people from India and I'm like, okay, what can I do to try to just make it easier? How can I help people to save money? How can I encourage people to become worm farmers? At first people thought I was weird, and now people know I'm normal, like you too.
I don't know normal, but
yeah. Good to have you here.
There's only a select few of my Air Force buddies that know I'm a worm farmer. That's for sure.
No, but it's weird though. I mean, I have a friend. His name's Dewey. He has like the soldier flies, and I won't do the flies, you know. But some people are into that stuff, and ant farms used to be the thing, but I wasn't into ant farms or crickets or roaches or whatever you had to.
I don't think the ant farms yield anything you can use. They might be fun for a little kid to watch, but they're not making
Yeah.
castings for you, you know.
Yeah, the ant farms are great. Plus, when you have kids, then you can be into them again too. I was fascinated by ant farms, but you're right; they're not helping you like worms. That's what's so great about worms. But yeah,
Right.
it's
I mean, if you
fun.
have a garden, you should have worms. That's my opinion. They
So,
Yeah,
should.
and it's amazing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. You go ahead, Patrick.
No, I was just gonna say there's a few people that have mentioned they clicked on my video and they were surprised that they stayed longer than as long as they did because they were squeamish about worms and all that kind of good stuff, but they were just fascinated. So I think once people, start a worm farm or their neighbor gets a worm farm or something, it'll get them really interested. And then, one of the things that I found, and you all probably did too, is a lot less trash, a lot less, because you can put your napkins, your paper towels, all that kind of good stuff. All the things that you talk about, AJ, in your short videos, and you do too. So it's amazing once people realize it. And you got to have a little bit of time too, because life gets in the way. When my kids were little, life was in the way. I don't know if I would have been able to do it, but it's just fun. It's awesome.
Got a VIP, another VIP. Thanks for sharing, Patrick. Is it Nana?
Nana, yes. Hi there, AJ. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
Hi. I didn't miss your name.
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Yeah, I caught you late, AJ. I went from one Zoom to another, so sorry about that.
No, you don't have to apologize. Life happens, I just wanted to do it, what I mean? Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles, but thanks for showing up, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you three or other two. But you said Nana? Is that how you say it?
Well, yes, I started the channel because I'm Nana to my granddaughter.
Okay.
And so that's what she calls me. That's what I called my grandmother. So
Okay. So what's your story about worms then, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, it's pretty much a year ago today. I just on a whim, I jumped online and I bought a worm tower. I didn't research it. I didn't watch any of the YouTube videos. I didn't do anything. I just bought a worm tower. I live in Victoria, British Columbia, so Vancouver Island.
Awesome.
And I found somebody who's selling worms locally, and I went up and I picked up like a cottage cheese container of vermicompost with some worms in it. I figured there were about 500. Added them to my worm cafe, and I've been posting the videos of my learning journey. I was so naive. I was so green. Then I started watching videos, and I really learned from you masters. And honestly, I didn't kill any worms. I didn't make any huge mistakes. But like you said, AJ, I now probably have 12,000 worms in a year. I got another 250 from a new friend on Facebook. She donated me another 250. So I bought another worm tower. And then I started the totes. So now I think I have 11 systems.
Oh, wow.
So it's really grown exponentially, I guess, just like the worm population. So Patrick, when I saw you do your harvest, and AJ, when I see you do your work with your worms are so dense in your systems, but I keep dividing and so my worms keep populating, but I don't have that density of population in any one system that you guys enjoy. But I have tons of castings stored up for the garden season, which starts now, and so I must have, I don't know, guessed. Oh, I don't even want to guess, but it's a lot. It's a lot of castings stored up. And so I'm really excited, and I'm now teaching vermicomposting to a group online, and
Oh, wow.
enjoy it.
You're doing an awesome job for
great.
the community too. Thank you for doing that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I just
Yeah, I think I'd
volunteered
have
to some friends and stuff. Yes, sorry, Patrick. Sorry.
I was going to say I would probably have 11 worm bins too if my wife wasn't keeping me in
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, exactly. So what's
I
your
thought-
wife's story then, Patrick? If you don't mind me asking real quick, does she like worms or really don't like worms or?
She does. I think she was, the channel's learned by doing. I read about them and all. I studied them back in college, and then I read about them, and finally I'm like, I just got to get them. And that getting to that first, purchase of worms and worm bin was huge for her to let me do that. And, I decisions together, of course, always. But then once we got it, she's a nurse, she's in the science field too. And
Okay.
once we got them, and you put that food in there, you check it, and then it's gone, it starts to get fascinating. Now she's the one behind the camera. She takes all the pictures, and all my thumbnails are thanks to my wife. But oh my gosh, AJ, when you said that thing about the fear of a worm getting out of its bin and crawling up into bed with you, oh my gosh, we laughed so hard. I really think that was my wife's fear, was that they're going to crawl into bed with us, not knowing that, a worm gets an inch away from its bin and it dries up and, dies and whatever.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so.
You didn't make it
funny.
far.
So this guy has a question about the real function of worms. And I think the answer would be you want them to eat your food, recycle cardboard, and you want to make your own rich organic fertilizer for your gardens. Like Patrick said, you don't want to spend $15 when you can invest $25 in the worms and have unlimited resources of castings. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, if you're
Well, is he
aiming it at
talking
me, that is
about
absolutely.
is he talking about the benefits of worms as they occur in nature, or the benefits of keeping worms? Compost worms versus what are earthworms designed to do? I don't know if we understand his question, or if I do.
Yeah. But I know they say if you have earthworms in your garden, that's a sign of healthy soil, and a lot of farmers need that in their property,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know Lisa's done a lot of reading about.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say I know Lisa's done a lot of reading, but they say the last ice age wiped out all of North America's worms. So all the worms that are here are not really native. I mean, what is native anymore?
Right.
So all the earthworms that are here are non-native. So they're all introduced when ships came over and stuff like that, and they only migrate about it was either a foot, I think it was a meter per year. And we're talking about, of course, the individual worm can go that far, but the population is, I think it was about a meter a year. So they're spread by us and agriculture and all that kind of thing. But pretty much anybody that has a compost pile is going to get red wigglers coming up in North America. Yeah. That's just kind of been my understanding. And it certainly is, what I've seen with my compost pile. So,
And so what we did, I guess 2 years ago, it started the pandemic, I ordered 11 yards of municipal arborist wood chips. They're free, right? The municipality just comes and dumps them on your driveway because we wanted to, preserve water and irrigation on all our flower and vegetable beds. And so we put about 6 or 8 inches of wood chips everywhere, every soil surface in our garden. And we noticed that the worms just started eating them, and the wood chips were sinking. And so that's what really got me thinking that they're the most beautiful organic matter, like at the interface between the wood chips and what used to be the soil, there was this intermediary zone where they turned it into this lovely, light, fluffy casting mixture with still softened wood. It's a slow process because those were a lot of them hardwood wood chips, but they were doing it, and the wood chips were sinking. And And so that really got me thinking that, you know, and so then I investigated the no-till gardening, the no-dig gardening. So we've gone all to that in our vegetable gardens. So we don't chew up the soil anymore with rototillers and kill the worms, you know. So
Right.
that got me thinking in terms of, you know, saving the worms sort of as stewards of our environment. And then I got into worm farming. So kind of acknowledging the worms that were already there. And I get the Canadian night crawlers here native, and I found them in my bins because we have added manure to the bins, and we have added wood chips to my bins, and I try to always return them to the wild when I find them. But those are big suckers; they're massive, actually.
I found some today, as a matter of fact.
Mm.
We get them here in Connecticut. I mean, I'm only 6 hours from the Canadian border, and yeah, they do well here because of our winters.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of you or all of you watched the movie Back to Eden? The Back to Eden gardening method.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall that.
I have not.
Then what you're talking about? If you go on YouTube and search Back to Eden, it's a regular city dwelling gardener who is just like forever searching, like, why do these forests that nobody maintains, nobody fertilizes, nothing's done, have this lush, thick growth, and even in heavily shaded areas, everything grows. And he suddenly discovered, well, it's the soil, it's the leaves that build up, and the branches, and their bark, and he figures out it's wood chips, and he just goes and gets like 30 yards of wood chips dumped, and discovered exactly what you did, that it preserves water, it encourages worms, it suppresses weeds, it becomes compost. And it's an awesome movie. It's free on YouTube, and it teaches you like everything about. And that's what I do now, is what's called the Back to Eden gardening method. If you're covering in more than 3 inches of wood chips, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And I mean, it changed my gardens entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And, the local arborists, they have to pay to get rid of their chippings and what's shred. So if you call a tree company and say, hey, I have a guy, I say anything but pine or willow, because I don't want that, but any hardwood. And I got several free deliveries a year because they have to pay to offload it. And it really works out great.
We took 11 yards the next year too, so 2021, and then we bought a shredder, and then we bought our own tree shredder. And when we go out for walks in the neighborhood, we drag branches home that fall off oak trees and stuff, like it, when there's like, our shredder only does like 1 3/4 inch diameter, but when we see these long 14-foot long, bigger than a twig branches, but we drag them home, and we make our own wood chips now.
I highly recommend watching that. Any of you?
I will.
It's free. It's on YouTube. The gentleman who narrates it and who does it, it's strongly religious in tone, but if you're not religious, you don't have to take that part of it. He does a lot of biblical references as to how things happen. But if you're not someone that's religious, it doesn't matter, because what he teaches you about gardening in wood chips and what they do and how thick, and just showing the proof as it happens month after month. It is a great, great movie. I learned so much from that. I think it's like 80 minutes long or something.
Great.
Really, really, I learned so much.
Well, Patrick, I experienced some of your Florida weather today. We had, the sun came out, and even though we're in a little bit of a cold dip for us, like in Celsius, we only got up to about 4 or 5 degrees today, which is cold for here for this time of year. In my greenhouse, it was 33 degrees, which is toasty, very warm, humid air, right? And just with that little bit of sun. So I was out there in my shorts and t-shirt for about 3-4 hours doing my worms. That's where they overwintered, my outdoor worms.
Okay.
And so so you're talking about, Florida, and I know you had some cold nights. Well, what I have witnessed in these worm bins that are going from like 33 degrees and we have some gentle heat on them. They never go colder than about, I'm going to say, the bin temperature, probably 9 or 10. And but that's quite a swing in temperature for these worms every day, right? And I've noticed that there's like almost condensation forming on the bedding with that swings in temperature. And today I noticed some of the cardboard was matting together because it's like getting wet then drying, then getting wet then drying. And so that's a dynamic that I didn't witness it last winter because my worm bins, we started them out indoors.
Yeah, my outdoor bin actually sits right on the ground, and then I have a couple of buckets, actually one of my storage containers across it, because I'm all of us have a southern exposure. Well, I guess depending on where your house is, I have that southern exposure in my backyard, so it heats up during the day. So the worm bin actually, even when it was warmer, the worm bin was a little cooler, and when it's the opposite happens too. When it's colder, the worm bin's a little hotter. So those fabric pot worm bins, and then sitting on the ground with a little bit of sun each day, actually like prevents those cyclic temperature extremes.
Yeah.
What I found from testing the temperature in it and everything. And then I think the metabolic processes of the worms themselves, the digestion, that generates heat just like any kind of activity. So I really probably could just leave my worms out there. We only have we have winter 2 days a year usually, just enough to kill off my banana plants, and give me hope for next year, because they've got to live through one winter to produce bananas. But yeah, that's what you all experience in trying to grow and in those shorter growth periods for your gardens and stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty temperate here. We're a zone 9B actually. So we're actually not that, I mean, it's an anomaly. We're a part of Canada that we look more like the Mediterranean than we look like the rest of Canada. But you're right. I mean, our daffodils and crocuses are in bloom. Our rhododendrons are in bloom right now. So Victoria is a little bit of an anomaly when people think of Canada. But I want to ask you, what do you cover your fabric outdoor bin with? Do you to stop critters going in there from the top?
Yeah, so it's 20 gallons. So those things are probably about half full. And
Lost your volume, Patrick. Can't hear you.
You can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Patrick. Can't hear you. We lost your volume. Hold on a second, Mike.
I think he was saying he folded it over or something. If I could.
His mic got muted. Your mic's muted, Pat. I don't know how you unmute your mic. His mic's muted, so.
I wonder if he lost his Bluetooth or something.
Yeah, he froze out.
I think he was saying he folded the flaps over because it was only half full. Yeah, okay. He's saying that's what it happened. I figured that's what it was. I just have heard nightmares of rats or mice getting in and eating worms. Never knew a rat or a mouse would eat a worm. And so, I was worried about leaving something that something could tunnel into.
Yeah, I might be back up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So what about the lizards in Florida? Don't the lizards try to get you worms, those gecko things?
It's funny. The critters that I do get in there is I have about 2 lizards that like to go in, and they go in between the 2 bags themselves. So it's, bag within bag, bag within bag. They'll go in here, and it's mostly to hide. I never see them feeding on it. I never see a decrease in my population. And then occasionally I'll get a very small frog in there. And I think because I constantly, every day I go in there and kind of open it and look at it.
Yeah.
Because ants also try and get in there, and they'll leave their eggs in between those 2 bags. And I find that if I just check on it, the critters stay away. So like I was saying, I fold it over, and then I have a little basin that I put on top just to hold it, steady, and it works great. Rain or shine, no matter what, the worms stay in there, and
Mhm.
the critters stay out. But you wait for the video. They may be a video like, "Hey, it's a disaster." That could be coming up. I have no idea.
The exodus of worms.
Yeah.
No, but you're doing a great thing. If they stay in the bins, we're doing something definitely right.
Yeah.
Working out.
I really like the way your castings looked in that system. The fact that it's a semi-permeable fabric that the water can just drain through.
Yeah.
I'm about to sink a 5-gallon bucket with holes drilled all sides and a few on the bottom into our garden, because I'm going to empty all of my worm castings into my veggie garden, and with it quite a few worms, and I want to make sure I've got feeding stations for them. So we're going to go with the hard plastic kind of buried worm tower systems.
Are you gonna put worms in
that's
there?
great.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
No, I was just saying that's great.
Yeah, are you gonna put worms in there, or are you gonna let natural earthworms and things come in by themselves?
Well, they're raised beds, AJ, so I don't know how many. I mean, we did have wood chips on it, so there are definitely worms in our garden already, but they are red worms. And so I haven't seen a night crawler or anything like that. In these raised beds are only 2 years old, about 3.5 feet high. So they're a long way from the native soil. So what I plan to do is take visible worms out of my castings before I throw the castings in the garden. And then I'm going to open the worm tower lid and throw a big handful of worms in. So I'm kind of going to take them out of the castings only to reintroduce them. And hopefully, I've got aged bedding ready to go in and everything. So it'll feel like home to them, and hopefully they won't stray too far.
Yeah, and you'll be good all year round with that system too. It'll come and go.
Apparently year round, yeah.
It's definitely a great system to have. They have that one unit, the sod pod, or what is sod pod or side, what I'm talking about. It's like $199, but you can just use a kitty litter bucket and do it the same way. Same results.
I know. I found a source of buckets because any worm farmer knows that you need storage, and so I just put out on Facebook, hey, does anybody have food grade buckets to spare? And a restaurant went, we can give you as many as you like. So my buckets say mayonnaise and peanut butter and all these things. I don't care, but they're all food grade plastic, and instead of going to the landfill, they are being stored, used to store castings, and even my spare bedding, everything goes in buckets now. It's so you don't have to spend a dime. You can usually just ask, and the universe will provide.
Yeah, one man's junk for another man, or woman's treasure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I know it's like 9:40 on the East Coast. But I just want to definitely, come out and say thank you guys for stopping by and getting some chat, man, because it's good to see you face to face for once. And this is awesome. So if you guys ever get the streams going, shoot me a link, because I'll come and check you guys out. And I'll keep getting shout outs to promote channels and help people to become known and YouTube famous like you two.
No.
All right, AJ, I really appreciate it. It's been great talking to you. So
Yeah,
y'all take care. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, subscribe to these guys' channels. It's Learn by Vermin Composting and Nana's Worms and Garden.
Bye, AJ.
Bye. Have a great evening. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you like what you're hearing from me, subscribe to my channel. I just want to say thank you and have a great day or a great night. Take care. Bye.